All right, made it in.
And it looks like
Low levels of water found. High levels of aluminum
I'm
found.
staring at nothingness, but it's
Medium
okay.
levels of water found.
Unfortunate. At least the stream should be available.
Got
Did
it.
you make it? Oh, excellent. All
Yes.
right, PB has found a location that he apparently deemed acceptable for robotic. He was able to throw down on a large number of resources and instantly expand to level 2, so that's going to work out very well for him. My only potential question of it is the simple fact that we actually have, he's going to spot this, he is going to be so upset. We have 4 aluminum iron tiles, one of them even with water on it as well, down in the southwest, and I don't know if Tozar has spotted quite the value of those yet, but he's kind of just sitting around doing not a lot at the moment. I don't really know what's going to happen there. Whoa, where did Tozar
There you
found?
go.
He went scientific off in the corner over here, potentially throwing away a free win with that move. I don't know, I can't really agree with that.
Yeah, there's no
He
iron.
saw
I mean,
the tiles.
He just did that like to the west. Just exactly. If you went straight to the west, there's iron, there's aluminum, and some water.
Yeah, I know he had those tiles revealed. He may not have spotted them, but oh man, neither player's going to get that exact map win here. Not really going to object to that myself, as we could end up with a way better game, given that neither of them spotted their free win.
I must say though, I mean, he took his time to scan. He should have scanned.
Oh yeah, no, he was sitting there. I think he was just trying to get his placement on his scientific exactly right for so long that maybe he didn't even realize everything that he had revealed, because it was getting revealed kind of constantly by the neutral colony and the natural expansion and revealing that happens. It was a bit... I know it was unfortunate for Tozar. He could have had a really good chance to take such a huge lead. Tozar does get lucky. This is not a pirate auction, so that's going to be fantastic for him. Interestingly enough, both players potentially would have been in a big trouble if a pirate auction had come up, but instead it's a claim. PB's going to take it for the very expensive price of 20,000 debt. And, well, we've got a game on our hands.
We do have a game. I wanted to see at least because maybe we have seen PB play a lot, and we know that he has that kind of advantage playing almost every day for a while. While Tozar has been absent for a long time, so I would have loved for Tozar to have built somewhere better. Gives him a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, well, it's not as though Tozar's spot is too terribly bad. At least, you know, he's got decent access to those water resources. He's got good access to aluminum. He found a good iron triangle, possibly even an iron diamond or a steel diamond if he wants to use it. But I do have a couple of concerns, and one of them is the fact that there was a way better spot on the map and he didn't take it even though he managed to reveal it. Second is that I think there are actually only 3 silicon tiles on this map, and all of them are a fair distance away, so he is going to have a lot of trouble with glass in particular. Now, PB, having thrown down robotic, he didn't know this at the time because he just kind of threw down on the first thing that caught his eye. But
meanwhile, PB did grab a goon squad and placed it on his steel mill.
yes, which is a particularly good move, but PB actually lucked out huge on the silicon because he doesn't have to get into glass. He doesn't care. He doesn't need that to upgrade. He doesn't need to worry about the silicon price. He can choose to avoid it if he wishes, just the same way he can choose to avoid water if he wishes. And so that's not going to be so much of an issue for him as it might turn out to be for Tozar. 2 water pumps
Tozar
down.
might be able to grab that silicon that's just west of him or southwest of him.
Yeah, he
Yes,
might be able to get that
one
one,
bit.
but it's just one tiny little tile.
Yes,
It not only runs
one
like
tiny
one
little
glass
tile.
furnace, and it's just...
I mean, he's scientific. He's only gonna need one, basically, to place his glass furnace in case PB, you know, hogs the silicon up there.
Yeah, but then it's just one glass furnace, no adjacency bonuses, have to go for slant drilling. It's just a bit of an awkward game overall.
Pretty much, yeah.
Both players have enough power to keep themselves running just nice. No adjacency bonus for PB. Instead, he decided to claim the exceptionally valuable high iron, low aluminum, low water tile. That's just insane. And connect up his steel so he suddenly can't be intercepted by pirates anymore. PB also deciding that he would rather actually strangle his opponent out of the silicon and not allow him to have any of it and take all of that for himself.
I
At least the
wonder what
nice
he's
stuff.
up to trying to go for water engine, but then again, Tozar bids higher. I mean, Tozar does have the geotherm. I don't know why he wants to do that.
Yeah, water engine. Well, a water engine is going to negate Tozar's fuel costs in particular. PB, it might make a lot more sense. Power's very, very high. Water's pretty cheap. PB has good access to water if he really wants to. Tozar, on the other hand, I suppose this will allow him to sell his fuel a bit more effectively. It could work out very, very well, water engine. I think those patents are actually a lot better in the 1v1 scenario than they are in the big 4, 6, and 8-man games.
I don't know if you noticed what PB's done. He grabbed the 2 silicon up there, and then he grabbed the carbon all the way below.
Yeah.
So,
PB making sure to just take the absolute best of those rare resources on this map, not trying to get a complete monopoly, but make sure that he has the advantage, he has the strength, and if his opponent chooses to take any of the remaining tiles and try to use quarries with them, he will be able to just underground nuke those out, and Tozar is just going to be in a world of hurt.
I don't know what's the best game for Tozar right now. I mean, he does need to have the essentials. Right now he's having the reactors. This is very essential for him. He still needs to secure a little bit of glass. He can still purchase it. It's not terribly expensive. But he does need to get on.
One thing I do have to question with PB, it looks like PB went ahead and purchased up as much as maybe 200 oxygen. I have to imagine he purchased this in response to what would have been likely an oxygen surplus. Now I have to wonder if he is planning to throw down glass furnaces at some point, if he is hoping that the price will rise eventually, but with Tozar producing his own oxygen, that price is going to come up very, very, very slowly, and I don't know if it was a good idea to commit even that much money to such an awkward resource for a robotic player.
Construction.
No matter how cheap it is.
Splines.
And he upgraded his level 5.
Yep.
There you go.
PB pulling the basic robotic, which is, well, robotic is kind of the new expansion. You just don't have quite as many tiles when you finish it up. You just try and fly through upgrades as fast as you possibly can.
And you don't have as good of an infrastructure either. You get level 5 and just, you got a whole lot of steel, iron, and aluminum.
Yep. Exactly. It's a lot nicer for balance to have that kind of thing happening with robotic than with expansive. And so my primary concern for PB at this point is maybe he's not taking a lot of advantage off of the robotics adjacency bonuses. Wow, cold fusion coming up when water engine already happened. That's very interesting. Tozar going to go ahead and grab that up as well. So his buildings and his units are all powered with water now, instead of with power or fuel.
How much water is he
But he's
producing?
taking both.
None.
Yeah, well, he is now.
All right, here goes a water pump down.
It's actually kind of an awkward patent for the scientific.
It is a bit of a weird patent for the scientific, but like I was saying earlier, I think I like it a lot better in the 1v1 than I do in the big games. 1v1s don't go as long, the prices don't go quite as insane, and you have a lot more individual control over the market.
Yep.
So you can kind of force things to be the way you want them to a bit more easily. It also means Tozar's just making, getting rid of quite a lot of his debt off of this geotherm, giving him just $200 a second off of his debt, and that's still rising.
It's rising. That's great. I guess that's probably the dust storm, probably.
Yeah, well, it's also nighttime. So nighttime plus dust storm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Could,
it's a solid income there.
Yeah.
If anything that's going on here is that PB,
PB
has
grabbed
a
a
lot of
mutiny.
debt.
Ooh, that was a bit of an interesting EMP.
The black market is online.
Was he...
A little surprised he went for the steel instead of the electronics there. Electronics, I guess maybe he was expecting the obvious goon squad on the electronics, but it's not there. And so if he had attacked there, PB would have been slowed down quite heavily. We do see the electronics shortage is coming in. It's already 50% of the way done. He's sitting on 53 electronics at this point, making a very large number. Just sold them all for some reason. Not really sure what the idea of that was. I think he may have spotted the surplus coming in, thought it was going to be a short, and reacted instantly. Now he's just waited for the surplus to complete and bought up some chemicals, so he has those stored up if he wants them. It's interesting. PB, I guess he's just trying to make electronics work to finish off the game.
I don't know if the price is high enough.
I don't know if the price is high
price
enough.
isn't
The
high
hack
enough.
will help.
He's got a hacker.
Yeah, the hack will help. It's about to go off. Won't be too much longer on that.
Tozar needs to react to that one way or another. Either he needs to surplus electronics or he needs to get it to himself.
Well, the EMP finally hit the electronics, but I'm worried that it's just too late. The hack's already gone off. PB's sitting on 230 of them right now. Those are going to be very expensive. Now, Tozar's stock price is very high. He is HQ level 4, having just upgraded. He has no debt. So it's going to be harder for PB to finish him off than maybe he would be hoping for this stage of the game. And I don't know if the electronics will do it, but they will get him a nice, good start on the process.
Could be a nice tell for Tozar there with the water, and I don't think Pbhead's going to want to go much more in debt.
I'm surprised. Pbhead, you better fight for this a lot harder. Okay, 6,000. Like, this is a really good claim for Pbhead. It's interesting that he's just kind of letting Tozar have it. I mean, it's right next to his headquarters. He could have easily, like, converted these buildings into a basic production triangle if he wanted to. Could have put a patent lab or an engineering bay down, for example. Just things of that nature. Probably not a pleasure dome, because those things suck in 1v1.
They are starting to go up. I mean, it's
Yep.
200, 202, maybe. even
But this is what I'm talking about. PB, off that short and that whole sell, he's only got half the stock done.
Yeah.
And he's
rising,
losing $200 just on electronics.
Now, you can see the good strategy behind PB here. He's been buying a variety of resources when they've gotten low. And so as these potential random shorts come in afterward, he is absolutely ready with them. He has been sitting on 200 fuel for a very long time. That got very expensive.
That's really going to pay off.
And he's going to make a lot of money, even if he didn't hit the peak.
Your stock is being bought.
So that's one more share. So now he's within arm's reach.
Oh yeah, he's getting very, very close. One more share, just a little bit at a time. He's still making, this iron production is actually massive right now. It's like $75 a second off of just simple iron tiles.
Yep.
Tozar is trying to fight back, and
Alright,
he
good,
is
good.
choosing to get aggressive on PB's much, much weaker stock
I
price.
wonder what they're going to go into.
Alright, power surge came down. Once again, on the steel, this is a move PB has been doing fairly consistently throughout the game, is power surging the steel mills, just trying to keep Tozar from getting a hold of too many tiles.
I think Tozar would be in it if he would just build his own hacker array. Simplest thing would just be to surplus electronics and not worry about.
Yeah, PB's debt is
Or
already
give-
so high. Do you need to give him any more, like through a high electronics price? On top of that, he's already producing enough.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like
it's his way of generating income at this point. So
It is his play. It's his whole play right now. Like, do you
Yeah.
really need both of these water pumps? Do you really need this solar panel, for example?
well, and the other thing you do with a hacker array is he could start shorting water. What would Pbhead do about that? He couldn't do anything about it.
Well, he's got a water pump. He actually has some water tiles in there.
Yeah, he does.
What's really nice is maybe, I don't think you were around for the start of the game, PB actually planted on a huge number of water tiles with his steel mills. And so he has access to the water.
If they go up.
He can nuke his water pump.
Yeah, he's producing 2 water a second.
I don't know what Tozar is thinking right now.
Tozar's got plenty of water.
He got a pleasure dome. That's going to...
Like, we've got a pleasure dome. We have, I don't know why, Tozar just moved into like 8 water pumps. I don't know what
Yeah.
that's supposed to be doing for him. He's also
Well,
making a
I-
ridiculous amount of power.
I mean,
$6 the water.
that would make sense if his next thing was a hacker array instead of alright.
That's all way too late. PB takes it quite easily. Really strong start for PB, and he just rode that to the end of the game. Tozar completely missing out on the iron aluminum tiles down in the southwest corner, and I think it cost him.
Did he see them? I missed that part.
Oh, he revealed them. I don't know if he actually spotted them though. He seemed
tell
really
Soren.
focused on that patch of water.
I told Soren
Right.
today what PB told me earlier. He's like, hey, Lena, I think that we're going to have 2 matches at 9 o'clock, but I'm going to talk to Tozar, and maybe we'll play at 8:30. I'm going to make it quick.
Let's get them
Oh,
together,
PB.
Matt.
You know,
I'll make it quick.
Well, that did look like an awesome location for a scientific. I will say that where he was. But,
It was a pretty good spot for a scientific. PB power surging fairly consistently on the steel. No random early pirates to really shut it down easily. My big concern, once again, though, it was like you had a high iron, low aluminum, low water tile, and then it had adjacency with 3 low aluminum, low iron tiles, and it's just like, how do you not found all over that?
Yeah, that's true.
PB, once again, very aggressive with the black market. 9 purchases even as a robotic this game. Tozar only got off 4. All of them aggressive, which I think was good for the position he was in, but
well, you got to do that in
not enough.
two-player, for sure.
Yep, got to be doing that, no question.
But, yeah, well, Pbhead's definitely going a long way to making sure that I don't change the electronic consumption of robotic. So
Yeah.
you can be happy with that, Pbhead.